Hello and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Oh, I mean, I'm just hearing a lot of stories about what famous people, have been up to that I wasn't invited to. Guess I'm not a big enough deal to be included in, a Puff Daddy party.
You wanted to go to the sweat parties?
I mean, if you're gonna have if you want someone to sweat, what? I mean, I'm your man. Come on. If you're looking for a sweat lodge kind of vibe, a vibe where people just kind of getting their haunches on, getting wet in the face,
Getting the knots out
with minimal effort. Yeah, go. I'm just what. Why are you looking? Why don't go hanging around Taibo classes, or whatever. In the '90s was this '90s and the 2000s, and jazzercise. You don't want to go find some jazzercise chick. She's gonna take forever to get her to sweat.
Yeah.
You want someone like me? I'll sweat. Watching an episode of Succession or whatever is new. It's exciting.
I'm just imagining you at one of those you're in between two, trafficking victims, and you're just sweating.
I would be
it'd be terrible for them.
I would be so annoyed. I wouldn't I would make up the fact that there was traffic. Like I would accuse them of trafficking people just because someone I would hate those parties so much. I hate being in any kind of crowd, any kind of loud environment. I'm sure the music was way too loud. I'm sure it was just like people just being garish, just being showy, and just yelling. You can't understand anyone. It's like trying to have a conversation, and just Kevin Hart's just there setting a woman's hair on fire. I'm trying to talk about Battlestar Galactica or whatever.
You're trying to get one of the trafficking victims to sterilize your wound with the Belvedere vodka.
Yes, I mean, sure. My wound. What do you mean exactly?
I don't know. It's just some wound.
Yeah, just some random wound. Go to get there's like a girl Jello shots. Like, let me get one on the arm.
Is Belvedere expensive enough for that? I don't know what expensive.
I think Belvedere is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Is it vodka? I think it's
It's vodka, yeah.
Mr. Belvedere.
Yeah, sounds fancy.
Speaking of fancy, before we get on, don't forget there's a lot. Be a fancy lad or lady, and like and subscribe on this whatever platform you're on. However you're consuming this, just indicate you like it. And subscribe to it, hit the notification bell, so that if your child goes missing, you'll hear about it. If your child if you had the option to be notified if your child was picked up by an abductor, wouldn't you take it?
I would.
So what's the difference with this?
Some parents, they're not great parents, but I would definitely do
right. You'd be a lousy parent to me. Yeah. So why is this any different?
It's not.
I don't. Yeah. Right. I just hit the notification bell and find your missing child. I'm no promises. I'm imagining some grieving mother is going to be like, "You promised me, Kump. I didn't promise nothing. I just said I just kind of conflated the issues."
That should really be the new name for the show.
What?
No promises.
Yeah. Just call it grieving mothers. And while you're at it, if you love this show, why not get more of it? And you can. You might not have thought you could, but you can. If you sign up at patreon.com/RayKump, you get an extra episode every week for $5 a month. It's a pretty good deal. It's a great way to get over, whatever happens to your son or daughter, if you're a grieving mother. I'm not saying that, I can bring back your kids.
No.
I mean, I didn't take them. I wasn't, to be clear. I can't bring them back from wherever, I can't retrieve them.
Right. And the content of what we say won't necessarily comfort you, but sometimes hearing a human voice as you drift off into your depressed sleep can be nice.
Just something. It's just something to pay for.
Something to fill the void.
Just something to spend your money on because there's no more. You're not buying presents for those kids anymore. Where are your kids now? Jeez. All right. So, but yeah, I mean, what is going? Because I remember Puff Daddy from those songs. He did "More Money, More Problems," and "I'll Be Missing You." Mm-hmm. When his friend Biggie Smalls died, was shot, and he made a music video about himself. And what else was his big ones? He did the Godzilla song with Jimmy Page. He was a big star.
His show Made, where he had people get him.
It was called Made. His show.
I think it was called Made. Yeah.
It was a bunch of maids.
Wasn't it called Made?
I don't know. Wasn't it called?
Or was it Making the Band?
Making the Band, right?
Yeah.
Made was I think some MTV thing where no, you're thinking of Pimp My Ride.
Anyway, he's an iconic individual.
Yeah. He was in the movie Made with Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau, and he played some kind of crime leader, a crime man. And he was very frustrated with Vince Vaughn's shenanigans. Anyway, but while he was doing this, I guess, can we pull the article up?
Yeah.
He was also getting his. It seems, I don't want to be dismissive, but I mean, from the way they describe these things, it seems fair to say getting his freak on, right? Because these parties were called freak offs, I think, or maybe either the party was a freak off, or events, sub events, like sub parties within the party were the freak offs. Like, I think you could go to the party and then you could just have some wine and eat some cheese and not necessarily be part of the freak off.
Right.
Like, I was a freak off last night. No, I just talked to Lorne Michaels about, the earned interest loophole. Or whatever, and how we should get John McCain elected.
So there were layers to this.
Yeah.
There were layers to this horror.
I don't know. I'm speculating because it seems like the freak off event. I mean, I don't know if you could. Well, this article described the freak offs. This is the staggering fall of Sean Diddy Combs. Here we go.
Much attention was paid to Combs' alleged days-long drug-fueled freak-offs that sound as if they could challenge anything Caligula could summon at Rome's debauched height.
I mean,
that's a little bit.
That's a high bar.
Didn't Caligula golf people's heads off and shit?
Sure. I mean, I don't know if he had golf clubs.
Didn't he use some kind of big machine to cut off a bunch of people's heads?
A machine or contraption of some sort?
Or was that just in the movie?
What was the one with Malcolm McDowell?
Yeah.
I don't remember a machine, but maybe some kind of lawnmower, like a primitive lawnmower.
Like some kind of primitive lawnmower, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they were, the ancient world, people think they were backwards, but they had a lot of, they had really advanced, what do they call those things? The things that brought the water in. The aqueducts?
Oh, yeah.
They had running water, kind of, not like indoor plumbing. Do you know about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were bringing these long things. So I'm sure they could have had a head cutting machine also.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, contraption. It wouldn't be electric. But so yeah, high bars, Caligula. So
I'm not going to necessarily say it's not that bad, but
if I'm the prosecutor, I'm like, now look here. Now I know what you might be saying. He's no Caligula. Well, if that's what you're saying, that's still no pecan sandy. That's why I would you get that out of the way. You say, look, the only man worse than Puff Daddy is Caligula. Enough said. But this article is trying to make, bite off more you can chew, perhaps.
Yeah, this guy is just trying to, be flowery.
Also, what could challenge anything Caligula
you don't try to be flowery in an article about a bunch of women getting trafficked.
Yeah, I mean, if they could challenge anything Caligula could summon at Rome's debauched height, we know who Caligula is.
Yeah.
You have to at Rome, we know it's Rome. Yeah, we know. Which order? Which emperor was he? Can you name what number he was? Probably not. I could.
I might be able to.
Really?
You tell me if I'm right because you know better than me the sequence.
Sure.
4?
Third. I'm pretty sure.
I almost said 3.
I'm almost certain. Yeah, it went. This is riveting. It went. I'm pretty sure it went Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, and then Nero, and then what's his name? Claudius. Well, no, Claudius and Nero. Claudius Nero, maybe. Yeah.
Anyway.
Subscribe for this shit.
All right.
Were we talking about Puffy?
Yeah.
All right.
Quote, Combs abused and exploited women for years, Williams said, including that Combs, quote, used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performance with male commercial ex-workers. Wait, so the men were prostitutes too?
Maybe.
How many people was this guy making have sex?
I don't know. I mean, was Mr. Farnsworth involved? With the guy with the umbrella? Remember we talked about this recently.
Mr. Farnsworth?
Yes. Have you already forgotten about Mr. Farnsworth?
Yeah.
He's the guy with the umbrella. Oh my God! Bring up a picture of Mr. Farnsworth. Wait, is that his name, Mr. Add Puff Daddy's name to it. Maybe it's Mr. Biggles.
Oh, right. The guy with the umbrella.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think I meant by umbrella? There you go, Mr. Oh, Farnsworth Bentley.
Okay, got it.
Anyway, yeah, Farnsworth Bentley. Was he involved? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to slander the man. But whatever. The main issue for Combs is the racketeering allegation that this is not just his personal conduct, but rather that he had this whole organization that was helping him to facilitate criminal activity. Once you have that racketeering charge, it's an uphill battle for the defense. It just seems like, what was the point of all this? Just to have freaky parties? I guess that's a lot. I mean, that's where a lot of problems come from. So I shouldn't, minimize that.
Right.
But that's the only, he seemed to make a lot of money off music and alcohol. Like, he didn't have a liquor he sold.
Sure.
And what was his? Do you remember?
No, but he had something. He had a lot of things.
Yeah. Like, it just seems crazy that you would what I gotta do? I gotta make people have sex at my parties. If I was throwing parties, I'd have a rule. It's like, keep your sex out of here.
Yeah.
I don't need you having sex at my party.
This is a classy thing.
If anyone's having sex at my party, it's gonna be me. and I won't, because I like privacy. I don't want I don't want to have this in the middle of my living room while everyone's trying to play Mario Kart or whatever. It just seemed, or like, what's that big game, Settlers of Catan? Or like, what's the one your family likes?
Risk. Or
not Risk. We
Coup.
played Coup. Yeah, the card game Coup. And then someone's just like flapping cheeks, busting cheeks. No, that's just not how. That doesn't seem like a sophisticated party to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have Grammys? So it seems crazy. But apparently he's just Combs' lawyer proposed a bail package that included a $50 million bond co-signed by his mother and other family. Well, I mean, he's the rich one. What good is his mother signing the bond? But $50 million does seem like a lot of money, as well as home detention, surrender of his passport, weekly drug tests, and a visitor log that would be submitted to authorities. But that did not fly. After twice denying Combs' bail, Judge Andrew Carter indicated his bigger concern was not flight, but deals with the danger of obstruction of justice and the danger of witness tampering. So he's in jail for a while.
Wow.
I mean, that's got to be the worst thing, is being a guy, not just that you can't do the sex trafficking. It's good for the world.
That's a good punishment.
It's good for the world that you can't do it, but it must suck for him if that's your thing. He was still throwing freak offs, right? These allegations go back a long time, but was he still doing the freak offs?
I mean, why would he stop?
Just get bored of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, are they still fun years later?
Or maybe they just went out of vogue.
Maybe
there was a time at which all the big Hollywood people were doing this stuff.
Oh, you think so?
And then it just went out of vogue.
Like you think there was a time when him and who would it be, like Joe Pesci?
Yeah.
and who else?
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Having a freak off.
Yeah, just having cheeks blasted.
I feel like they're just describing like the Grammys after party, These aren't even his parties.
You think the Grammy after party was that lit? You think you mean like the official Grammy after party? I don't think they were I don't think there is one. There could be, I guess. I think it's just different after parties.
Maybe.
It'd be funny.
How would you know?
Well, that's a good point. I don't know for sure. I'd be surprised if I'm not sure how it works. Like, who is the Grammys? I know,
you have no idea what those parties look like.
Well, I mean, I just have
Neither do I.
I have a funny, if it was the Oscars, let's just say, I have a hard time believing that the Academy would just be throwing big orgies. But
yeah,
perhaps
maybe
last tango in Paris, perhaps.
Sure.
Anyway,
yeah, first it was the butter parties, and now it's the freak offs.
Yeah, you think he ever did the butter scene at these freak offs? Let's see. We're rolling to go away. There's one about. Look up that post one. The one up there. See, no, it's right there. It's the tab. Yeah. Apparently, he's on suicide. This article says he's on suicide watch at the jail as he awaits trial. Which does that mean he's? Because usually with Suicide Watch, I think they put you in that green kind of vest kind of thing, so you can't like hang yourself with your shirt. Which I didn't. I mean, it seems hard. It'd be hard to hang yourself with your shirt anyway. But I guess Epstein figured that out. He's 54. He looks good for 54. You gotta admit. You don't think so?
Oh yeah, he looks fine.
He looks like he cuts the cut of his jib is nice. The rapper being added to the watch is a preventative measure. Days after he was arrested on charges, whatever. Do you think he should be allowed bail?
No.
Why?
Because this is all very serious, yeah.
Sure. What is alleged
to leave the country?
I mean, what can we go? That article say what? I'm not trying to minimize, but what is the deal? So he hired, because it would seem like if you told me about these parties, I would have assumed that he like paid these women, right? Are these just like paid women, or what's the crime itself? That they were forced?
Yeah, I mean the claim is that a lot of it was forced.
They weren't even prostitutes. They were just forced women.
Well, I think he might be engaged in a lot of in actual sex trafficking. Yeah.
But is that just asking a prostitute to come, to your house, like over state lines? That's what I'm asking. Like,
I don't think so. I don't think it's just soliciting a prostitute.
It's like I doubt they would have a trial.
At the very least, you would have to solicit probably a lot of prostitutes,
right?
In order for it to count as that.
It's just I doubt they would have a trial like this high profile if that was the case.
Right.
I just don't know why you wouldn't do that. You have so much money. Why wouldn't you just hire people who do that for a living?
Don't worry.
It just seems like a real oversight. Like, hey boss, it's like it'd actually be cheaper. Instead of he'd have to be like Christian Bale in Batman Begins. He had find all this gear and invent the Batman stuff and the Batmobile. I guess a lot of it was made by Wayne Enterprises, but whatever. My point is, he's got to build tunnels to traffic these women or mechanisms. I think we could just hire hookers. I'm just saying, it's just they're there. They'll do it for money. So I mean, that's where I'm coming from. That's why it does seem like I believe it's fishy unless it's a real character assassination. It seems like he's up to some fishy stuff.
By the way,
yeah,
he apparently he's in jail in New York.
Oh, really? Which jail does it say? Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. I think that's where that El Chapo was.
Really?
Yeah.
The notorious jail has long been plagued by tales of barbaric and reprehensible conditions for inmates who have included sex abusers R. Kelly and Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh.
Well, it might also be El Chapo. Am I getting the name right?
The facility, which holds pretrial detainees as well as those serving short federal sentences, currently holds roughly 1,700 inmates. Its capacity is reportedly almost 3,000.
All right. Well, what's the air conditioning situation?
Do you think could we visit Puff Daddy in jail?
I mean, we have to pretend to be his lawyers. Could we? I've been watching Better Call Saul, and when they have these cartel guys in there, people can just go in and say, "I'm his lawyer," and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Like, I said I was your lawyer. And now I don't know if that's accurate, but also I'm not a lawyer. Like, that person was a lawyer.
Right. You really have to prove that you're some lawyer.
Yeah, I think when you're a lawyer, you can just kind of like you probably can just kind of glaze around the courthouse, go wherever you want. You can if you're a good lawyer, you can just bring donuts to people. You go, hey, you want one of these Hostess Twinkies, and you can bribe your way into getting your client out of jail, or whatever. So what is?
I would, if I were visiting Puff Daddy in jail, I would probably say I think everything that's happening to you is justice, but everyone deserves someone to hold their hand through the process.
You want to hold his hand?
Everyone deserves someone sitting behind who's sad to see them.
Wait, I'm confused. Are you
going to is he going to get the death penalty for this? Probably not. Right?
I have no idea. I barely know what he did. Are you claiming? But what I'm more concerned with is, are you offering him legal services, or are you like just gonna literally hold his hand?
In the way that I imagine nuns do that sometimes. They might hold the hand of a prisoner on his way to prison.
I don't think you're allowed to hold the hand. I think you're putting a lot of emphasis on the hand holding. Also, this is the last guy who cares about holding your hand. I mean, you realize what this guy's into? He's into all this debauchery. I mean, I watched a video just a minute ago where Kevin Hart was like, I don't think Kevin Hart lit the girl's hair on fire, but, I don't know. He seemed upset about it. But I'm just saying, like, this girl's hair is on fire. The hand holding doesn't seem to be the issue. But you want to console this man. Is it because of his celebrity status? Or are you just kind of a...
No, this is just because of his membership in the human family.
Do you want his autograph?
Not really.
You can bring your autograph book and ask him to sign?
I still remember that episode where he wanted cheesecake from Juniors. I think we've talked about this before, actually.
On the Patreon, maybe, yeah. But no, that's fine. But he so what, he wanted cheesecake. I don't know if we got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
He wanted Junior's cheesecake, which is good, but like not like the best. And well, it's not. I mean,
no, it's really not.
Honestly, if you wanted to be a challenge, like go up to that place in the Bronx, that H&M or whatever, that has the better cheesecake, and it's more of a haul. I mean, Junior's is like right in the middle of like Times Square or whatever, isn't it? Close enough.
Yeah.
Go up to the Bronx to get my cheesecake from but they close at 7 probably. That's a bigger challenge. The regularly occurring freak-offs could last for days, and Combs and the victims will often receive IV fluids in the aftermath to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Well, look, they make that sound bad, but that's actually something that people do nowadays. Now, the victims will often receive IV drug. I mean, he's giving them IV fluids. I think it's just a way to kind of get
those things are expensive. Yeah.
They are, but like people do that as a premium thing now. That you can kind of like stock boys. Not grocery clerks. I mean, like, stockbrokers and stuff. High level stock guys. They'll party all night and get like an IV of saline or whatever, and then go sell mortgages or whatever, to your mom.
Combs is accused. Sorry, this is further clarifies something that I was in another article, and I'm trying to understand it. So, Combs is accused of forcing women into sick, freak-off sex sessions with male prostitutes that were often recorded. That while the music producer masturbated.
Him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he would record it and jerk off, and then there would be a woman and a man prostitute.
Yeah, maybe were the women not prostitutes? I don't know. It seems sexist to not pay the women.
Yeah.
if you're paying the men, and also kind of like counterintuitive, because you can get a bunch of guys. I'm sure. And typically. Is
this covered under the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act? Like,
I'm not a suffragette, so I'm not sure what that means.
Is fair pay for freak-offs part of this?
I don't know what any of that means. But no, probably not. But it does seem like the freak-offs are the parties themselves, I guess. Actually, it seems like it's highlighted freak-off. Maybe we can click this and get a more detailed analysis of what the freak-off is.
Let's see.
The music mogul who has been his charges, who's dating. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded.
Wow, what an auteur.
Yeah, it'd be great to release them, and it's like arranged, directed, masturbated to, and often and recorded by Sean Buffy Combs.
He was so misunderstood. This is the greatest artist of his generation.
He's the Lars von Trier of I don't know of illegal sex stuff. The newly let's scroll down, please. Combs would allegedly lure the women into his orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship, before doling out drugs to keep the victims obedient and compliant.
Isn't this the kind of the Andrew Tate method? What's it called? The honey boy method?
I don't want to get into a legal snafu, but probably, yeah. Yeah, it does sound like, yeah. So I guess, yeah, I guess the... much like Tom Sizemore in Heat, the action is the juice for him. It's not just, because you would, like practically speaking, you would get female, but it seems like his whole thing was to get these women and give them drugs. He liked the idea of it, I guess. Allegedly, he liked the gimmick of getting these women, drugging them. We're getting them on drugs.
And then when they were a little bit kooky.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue, I guess if you were going to be his lawyer, you could argue like, look, he was also doing the drug. He's a big drug addict. He just liked to do drugs and have sex, but he couldn't always get it hard, so he'd he'd tug his pud and sit in the corner while he had his girlfriend with a male prostitute. I don't know. It's just a big mess. I'm sorry, I'm not a very good lawyer.
I don't know. This all is like, I feel like nobody is acknowledging how weird this all. I mean, maybe they are.
I think they are.
No, I mean, people are saying it's horrible,
right?
But the weirdness of this that it's I'm gonna use my wealth and power to manipulate women and get them high so that they can fuck another guy while I'm in the cuck chair, basically.
Yeah.
And I have a camera.
Sure.
This is just not the typical like.
Well, I mean, look,
way it goes down.
I guess. I mean, is it that much different than Cosby, like drugging women who probably would have? I mean, is that wrong to say? But like, I'm sure Cosby, with his fame and whatnot, could pull, without drugging women.
Sure.
So the fact that he did just seems kind of, like again, that was the point.
Yeah.
So it's not that much. Or like Weinstein. Well, that's different, I guess. He was I don't think he had as much charm.
Mm.
But it's, I mean, this is a lot of these things. It's surprising how much of it is just like I want to hurt someone or make them do things. It's like I want to. It's like for them. It's like playing a really mean spirited version of The Sims.
Yeah.
Like they want control.
Right. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
It's an evil Sims.
Evil Sims. Yeah. Isn't there an evil Sim character where like he's wearing a mustache or something?
I've never played The Sims, so I don't know. Like, if he's wearing a mustache, yes, that sounds
evil Sims.
Sure. I mean, you've been charged with evil Sims.
His employees allegedly helped facilitate the freak-offs by arranging travel, booking hotel rooms where they would take place, and stocking the rooms with supplies, including drugs, baby oil, lubricants, and extra linen.
What is baby oil if not lubricant? I guess it's just for the shine to make people slippery.
I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know. What's this? Scroll back up. What's that thing? It says his employees allegedly helped. Wait. Where's the thing about the gun? It's just something about weapons.
Yeah.
Combs
also had his security staff carry weapons, and when the feds raided his home in Miami and Los Angeles, they found 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, other guns, ammunition, and a drum magazine.
I mean, is this gonna be enough to get them banned? I mean, it'd be funny if like no one cared about the school, like you know what I mean. But they finally banned them because of freak offs. Combs would often. Also, I'm not asking for that. Don't at me. I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in all the amendments. Right? Are they bad amendments? Am I
Any bad amendments?
I open myself up to ridicule here. Anyway, Combs would often keep videos of the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating sessions, sometimes without his victim's knowledge. Oh, so he's a little Weinstein guy. Is he doing a little? He's doing a little blackmail. I don't mean that in a racial way.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely blackmail.
Yeah. It just seems odd that, like,
but I guess, look, theoretically, I guess if you were trying to build a case against a person, right? Like, I don't think there's any reason to assume he's definitely innocent.
No.
But it's like, if you were trying to build a case against someone, I guess you could say, well, he kept some photos and videos without my permission, so that means. So that's wrong, regardless of whether or not he was going to use it for blackmail. But he probably was going to use it for blackmail.
It just seems odd because it sounds like these parties. I mean, were just a big like those parties from movies, like old school. And it's like everyone's got their phone, their old school phones out, recording the black. I mean, like, I think Epstein. I think they would like record them in bedrooms where they were like where they were doing deeds.
Right.
But this is. I mean, he's not doing blackmail, right? It might still work, but you got a lot of people out there who could also blackmail. You kind of like giving other people the opportunity to do your kind of what's the word? You're inflating your blackmail value or devaluing it.
Diddy was first accused of a years-long pattern of domestic and sexual violence against his former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie Ventura. Oh, okay, so I guess was that like the first thing to come out?
Coleman's arrest comes after he was hit by a flurry of lawsuits in the past year. Okay, so a bunch of people sued him, and then, yeah. Well, look, he's in a lot of trouble. I don't think anyone can say that's not true. He's in a lot of trouble. Usually I would say I'd wish him the best, but I don't know. Probably. This is a new thing. He joked about locking women in his house, and he resurfaced Conan O'Brien interview. Well, I've never trusted Conan myself. I've always thought Conan was kind of fishy.
He was probably cackling away through that whole thing, huh?
Can we play? Is this something we can play, or?
Yeah, let's see.
I've always thought Conan was a little. I mean, maybe Conan might not be a trafficker, but I've always found him to be a little. What's the word? Smug. So it's not quite the same thing. Is this it? Yeah, that's probably it.
This is probably it.
Long.
Right?
We're gonna turn this down.
Let me just make sure. It's from 2002.
What did he do? Is there a transcript for it? No, I mean on the thing we were looking at before.
Yeah, there is.
Just read the transcript. I don't want to have to hear like 16 minutes of Conan going. That's more Jon Stewart, I guess, but you get my point. Doing this little dancing and just wiggling. All right, we get it. Oh, you really got robbed by Jay Leno. Sorry. It's a tragedy that you weren't the host of the Tonight Show. Oh, God. Jesus. I mean, I like the guy, but I mean, enough. He acts like he's like, Groucho Marx.
In an interview on Late Night with Conan O'Brien back in 2002, Diddy, then well known for his partying, was asked his best hosting tips. He said, quote, "This is what you need to do. Women, beautiful women, of course. Beautiful men for the ladies, of course," the rapper told O'Brien. "You need some water. I don't know if guys have noticed this, but a lot of ladies drink water at parties. So if you don't have what they need, they're going to leave. Got to keep them there. Need
Are they
lots."
cats?
I have this amazing litter robot for the ladies.
Need locks on the doors. Okay.
Got to keep them there. Need locks on the doors.
Oh.
O'Brien responded saying that the party sounded kind of dangerous, but instead of backtracking, Diddy doubled down. Quote, "You need a lot of heat. Don't have no air conditioning. Heat affects the alcohol, but everybody also gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat," he added. Finally, he added that you need good music and you need me, of course. O'Brien said the parties sound disgusting.
Well, good for him, I guess. It says 22 years ago. I mean, I don't know. This just sounds like it just doesn't sound like being famous is all that great. Like everyone's like, I want to get rich and famous. And like, this is what you have to do to get off when you're rich and famous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how boring it gets. I mean, you could say that, oh, he's evil, and I get it. I mean, you shouldn't do this, but I mean, the fact that he feels the need to do this when he's that rich and he's that famous, it just goes to tell you, I'm not one of these. I don't like the idea of it being like, hey, poor people actually have it better. I'm not saying that, but like, that's just annoying drivel. But I mean, it does seem like these people who want to shove it in your face as money is like it's
not good. Yeah,
it's just kind of like, dude, you're being a tryhard.
That's true. It's hard to believe that if he was, Puff Daddy the mechanic, that he would need to do that.
Right. Yeah. He may want to, I'd like to do. Imagine him like working at Jiffy Lube. I'm like, he's like, oh, you hear him like while you're sitting there. He's the guy up front, and he sold you on the. You just want to get one tire fixed, be convinced you get all of them done.
Yeah.
New tires, and then you hear him and his buddy. And he's like, you know what I'd do if I had $1 million? I get a party and I'd rub them on baby oil. I shove it inside. The baby oil goes inside. And he's like, that might burn them inside. I don't know. You got to feed them water like a cat. And you pet them. You got to pet them and you got to make sure you get the food they like. They can be kind of fussy. I mean, you would just be like, you would think he was a tool.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of these famous men and women like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. None of these people seem happy to me. And do I seem happy to people out there? Probably not. But I'm not having freak parties. I'm not having gimps and gimp suits. Chained up. Enough with these people. Oh, all I want to do is get famous. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
You want to be Taylor Swift? Does she seem like something you want to be?
Even if this shit wasn't going down, you still shouldn't need a whole house full of people to get hard.
Yeah, seriously. That's just like, just watch Netflix, you dumb fuckers. It's not good. I mean, look, Stranger Things ain't that good, but I mean, this seems like so much effort. It's not worth it. Make Gundams.
Stranger Things isn't that good, but you can jerk off to it.
No, you shouldn't. I wouldn't. It's for kids.
One drug dealer who remains anonymous for obvious reasons told the New York Post that he allegedly saw one of these parties.
Was it Pablo Escobar? No, he's dead.
Quote, weird shit was starting to happen. Celebrity guys fucking each other.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, are any of the guys complaining about mistreatment? I'm kind of curious.
Well, I don't think Chris Pratt, hypothetically, if Chris Pratt and Adam Scott were at these parties banging each other, hypothetically, I'm just saying, I don't think they would be in the position to complain. I don't think he was trafficking.
I didn't mean to say complain, by the way. Oh, are they whining about this?
No, I'm saying
it would be legitimate if they
complained about it. Are they being whiny little? No, I mean I'm just saying I don't think it's alleged that again hypothetically Chris Pratt and Adam Scott were being trafficked if they were banging each other,
right?
Or Brad Pitt and George Clooney if they were banging each other at these parties, hypothetically. I think it's the women. These was girlfriends he had. It just seems weird that everyone else is getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if Rick Moranis was ever at one of these parties. I know he retired from acting, right? From to raise his kids.
Yeah.
But do you ever get did he get a chance to partake in a freak off now and then? Maybe the kids went to camp.
I hope Rick Moranis was never tainted by a freak off.
Well, I don't think
he seems so innocent.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Rick Moranis, if he did show up to a freak off, wouldn't know. He would just be like, "Oh, well, you hire," because he's from the 70s and the 80s, right? SCTV, and he probably hung out with the SNL guys, and he was in Ghostbusters. They had parties back then. But Lucie would have to get a bunch of hookers, right? That's what it used to be. Simple. Burt Reynolds was around back then. You used to get Charlton Heston. You used to get a bunch of hookers, probably. Warren Beatty. They had these parties, and you used to get a bunch of hookers. Yeah, women who get paid. Right? He wouldn't understand this weird dynamic where you're like, no, I can make her my girlfriend, and you feed her drugs till she gets addicted, and then I get her to have sex with guys I pay. Like, what is this?
I get hurt if I lube herself up with baby oil while two guys fuck behind her. Yeah. And then I film all of it. And you're banging. I'm jerking. And I'm jerking in the corner, and Rick Moranis is like, I gotta go. I can't be seen. This is so weird. What is? I think you should go to jail just because it's so goddamn weird. That's what made Rick Moranis quit acting for real. Yeah. No, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that people see in Hollywood. It's just that's the thing. You think and what? Well, why are you being a prude? A bunch of hookers at a party. Well, you care. You can go to church if you want. And no, it's just this stuff. I didn't know it was your mom. What? What's that doing? I think that's what makes people upset. That and if they were underage. But I guess no one's alleging that. Is this the worst thing that anyone's done with of age women in recent memory? Is it? Sorry, repeat. I'm just saying, Epstein. The whole thing was underage girls. Right. Was Puffy going for the of age creep of the century? I don't think I've heard anything about underage girls, so they must be of age, right? Well, I'm saying he's like, well, I'm gonna corner that part of the market, right? Weird shit was starting to happen. Celebrity guys fucking each other. There were back bedrooms, and it was like the inner sanctum. Oh, so it wasn't in the main party room. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's all happening in the bedrooms. Oh. Which means you could be just kind of eating cheese and playing Settlers of Catan. Imagine being the guy who crazy party last night. Oh, I know, so many different kinds of cheeses. and what was that? It was a special version of Uno.
It was like Uno, but it wasn't regular Uno. It was like a different box, like a green box. Yeah, crazy. I never saw that before. No, I'm talking about the.
I was playing the Uno Fiesta edition, and it was dope.
I'm talking about the girl who like turned inside out and had sex with Puffy's dad. Like what? Yeah, she like took all her skin off. You think he ever had his dad have sex with women as parties?
Maybe.
Do you think he ever had anyone? Oh, it'd be terrible.
Maybe he learned it from him.
You think he ever had anyone dress up like Biggie as a tribute, like dress up like Biggie? I mean, is Biggie ever? I'm just saying, like, I think that's what's getting lost here. It used to be him and Biggie all the time, and then all this stuff. Maybe he was trying to fill the void after Biggie was that. Look, if I'm his lawyer, and I'm sorry if it ends up being a defense and I'm to blame, and I'm even more sorry that I didn't get paid for it. But if I'm his lawyer, this is the case I make. Mm-hmm. In 1997, a man named Biggie Smalls, I don't remember his real name. Sorry, Your Honor, I'm not sure. I forget what his real name is. But she was killed. He was good friends with this guy. And this guy's been trying to make that go away, that pain go away for, was that like 30 years? Something like that. A long time. Many, many years. And that's what this is all about. It's just trying to fill a gunshot-shaped hole in his heart. That's it. But seriously, I mean, do they play Biggie songs at least?
Yeah, I mean, they could definitely show pictures of him with Biggie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and build a case that he's suffering.
I mean, it'd be terrible if they played Tupac stuff. He would never do that. He's part of Bad Boy. Was Bad Boy involved in this at all? Or was it just the like Hollywood celebrities?
Bad Boy?
Well, Bad Boy was his record label. That's who he is. He's the guy who runs. I mean, that's why he got rich and famous. He was the owner and proprietor of Bad Boy Records.
Right.
That was what the label that Biggie was on, and he used to be in the videos flashing money and stuff. And then the moment Biggie died, he became the rapper. He took over, which I don't know. Yeah, I'm not here to make conspiracy claims, which I've made before anyway.
So this guy went on and he said, you'd see two people you would not think would be hooking up, rappers. That was what shocked me. I won't say names, but there were rappers that I immediately lost respect for and could not take seriously ever again. This guy's, I mean, it sounds like this guy was just freaked out to see gay stuff.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to see.
Well, to be fair, I mean, a lot of these rap songs, until recently at least, and maybe still, were not very pro-gay. No. It's not like you're watching. You're like Liberace's gay. What the hell? That's not the case. It's not what it would be like. So I mean, it would be kind of a culture shock to find out some of these guys were gay. Probably. Sure. Now I'm not a huge rap guy. I know the hits, but I'm sure a lot of them have songs on them when they go, I don't like gays and any of the days. Whatever the rap song is.
I don't like gays.
But whatever. So then you see him doing gay stuff, and you're like, "What the hell? I bought your record, man." And like, well, that shouldn't have been that big, And he's like, "Do you care that George Clooney's not really Batman because it's back in the '90s?" And he's like, "It bothers me a little bit." Anyway, so he's in jail. Hearing is set for Tuesday. This Tuesday, September 24th. So I guess we'll see what happens, but. Not looking good. He's been a bad boy.
He's been a bad boy. Always on brand.
Yeah. What's this thing? Speaking of bad boys, this is a strange thing you found. So Bug Hall. Now, I don't know why I have to qualify it with Little Rascals actor Bug Hall, because everyone knows who Bug Hall is.
Let me just say up front about this story.
Yeah.
Bug Hall played Alfalfa in the Little Rascals remake.
In the movie in 94. Was it even a popular remake? I'm not sure. But
in the 1994 remake, and I have to say, he was fantastic.
Oh, really?
Fantastic as Alfalfa.
Are you being serious right now?
Very serious.
So you watched this movie as a kid?
Yeah.
Or as an adult, perhaps?
Yeah.
As a kid.
As a kid, mostly.
And you particularly liked Alfalfa?
I just think he was a good Alfalfa. He's a good casting.
Well, did you watch the originals before? Like, I'm saying, what? Because I might have seen a few moments on, like, I don't know what, cultural osmosis. But I don't have a deep well of watching the Little Rascals either way.
Sure.
But as a kid, did your parents like show you the Little Rascals or something?
I watched a lot of black and white Little Rascals.
Wow.
Whenever I was staying with my grandparents, I'd watch a little.
Oh,
Little
they had the
Rascals.
tapes?
They had tapes, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's so weird.
I watched the black and white one where original Alfalfa, ate a bunch of horseradish. And
Okay.
that was really funny.
Is that a famous one?
I think it's kind of famous.
I love the Marx Brothers. I love the Three Stooges. I just never got into the Little Rascals, but I'm sure they're good. It was a Spanky, right? It was a little fat kid,
Right.
and then it was a Buckwheat. Yeah, Buckwheat. That might have been racist. I don't know, but Eddie Murphy had the famous Buckwheat sketch.
A lot of them aren't very memorable. Alfalfa is really maybe one of the only memorable
There's the
ones.
dog. There's that dog.
There's the dog, yeah.
Yeah. So good for you. So you thought he held up.
I thought he was great in it.
Bug Hall really fucking embodied the spirit of Alfalfa.
Even now, even after seeing what he's become, I would say if they wanted to make an Alfalfa kind of follow up and they wanted to cast him as Alfalfa
as a man, as a 40-something-year-old man, you'd be down for that. You'd be that good.
I would be fine with that.
Most people don't really care to see the Little Rascals as adults, but you're into it. You're here for it. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'll see if I can make that happen for your birthday.
And actually, I gotta say, I think they should. Because, I think he's going down a dark path, and I think if he got recast as Alfalfa once again, it would remind him of a better time in his life.
And you think Hollywood as a whole owes that to him?
Why not? I mean, what do they owe anybody?
No, sure. Well, but not because there's demand for it, but because we want to make sure this guy doesn't become a I forget what he. Well, why don't you tell everyone what he's become?
Okay. Little Rascals actor Bug Hall is receiving a lot of backlash for calling his 4 daughters dishwashers.
Well, that's
According to his Instagram page, he's now a self-canceled rascal, medieval moralist, peasant, and patriarch.
He's a medieval moralist. What does that mean? Is a Catholic homesteader? I think that's the most apt description, I guess. He's a Catholic homesteader. Mm-hmm. And he's built some kind of compound, or he's bought a compound. I don't understand who, was he in things after, did he have a career? I mean, how much could he have gotten paid to be in a remake of The Little Rascals, in which no one was famous in, right?
No.
They probably paid him like $100,000. I mean, maybe he bought like a small house in like in deep, in the desert surrounding Los Angeles with that money.
Yeah, I don't think it probably wasn't a lot. Maybe he had other roles. I don't know.
Let's look. I mean, bring his IMDb up because he's called his daughters dishwashers. Which, look, I get where you're going with it. Oh, so he's in. Apparently he's in the Little Rascals, and there's a second.
Oh, there was a 2014 Little Rascals that he was in.
Wait, how is? But I don't understand. Click that. He's in Get a Clue, The Stupids, The Big Green, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Oh, he's in Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves?
Why didn't you saw that one?
Yeah.
I saw the first 2. I didn't see that one. Bring up this Little Rascals. How old would he have been? He was 2017. This was like 15 years later, and these are kids. How was he in the movie?
Yeah.
Did they all have kids that looked like themselves? How does this work?
Let's see.
Jenny Ortega's in it? Isn't that the girl from Wednesday?
So in the next Little Rascals movie, he played an ice cream man.
I'm sure that's a pivotal role.
Yeah.
So this is a guy. This guy. Why? I mean, I don't even know. This is what people. This is what we read as a society. It's this is like if you don't want to hear about freak offs, this is the news you get. This is what the algorithm feed. I don't know how we get all these things at once because we should be at one.
To be fair, I went looking for it.
You went. How'd you find this?
Well, I didn't go looking for a story about him specifically, but I was looking for something.
You look for the Little Rascals.
I was looking for something, strange.
Right. Okay. You don't just Google the Little Rascals like every day, do you?
No.
Hoping something shows up.
Not
hoping Bug Holes in a new Little Rascals film.
Not every day.
I mean, do you want to watch this later? The Little Rascals movie.
I'd watch it, sure.
So what does he got? The Get a Clue. He's the Get a Clue actor. Scroll down.
On September 18th, Bug welcomed a son to his homestead, and how he delivered the news is receiving a lot of backlash on the internet. Get a Clue actor welcomed Mark Athanasius Chad Anthony Hall
Awful
Barrett.
name.
Awful name. With a post on X, formerly Twitter, writing, "I have an heir."
This is honestly, this is just these articles are just like Orwell couldn't have come up with this. Imagine this is what you would you would see it in italics, like as something Winston in 1984 was reading in a newspaper. And you're like, well, that's a little far fetched, right? I mean, this is all like this being like the news would be insanity if you read this back then.
When a person said you already have daughters, this is the weirdest part of the story, by the way, that somebody on X knows enough about Bug Hall, has Googled it Bug Hall enough that they know that this is not his first try.
Right. You have 4 daughters, Bug Hall.
What? You have 4 daughters named Elise, Charlotte, Maribeth.
I wonder if Bug Hall follows me. It's possible. It's weird people follow me sometimes.
Yeah. When a person said you already have daughters, WTF is wrong with you? In response to his comment, Bug replied, "I said air, not dishwasher."
Here's my problem with this. You're setting your sights pretty low for a misogynistic homesteader. Mm-hmm. Like, don't you want bread to be made? Like, dishwashing is like the lowest thing on the kitchen totem pole.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the first thing you do in the kitchen, and then you learn your way up the trade if you're like a professional kitchen. And all his daughters are just clumsily cleaning. How many dishes do you have?
So you each get 1 dish.
Are you eating, putting a saltine cracker like one on a dish and eating it, like, and then just using dishes all day? This is disgusting. I mean, just have them make souffles.
Look, if you don't want to teach them how to read, that's one thing.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
But at least a couple of different dessert recipes.
Sure. Make some turnovers, popovers.
Oh, yeah. We had a guava turnover the other day. It was fantastic.
I hope, Monica says, I hope Gnarly Pug, Gnarly Pug, I hope when you're old and senile, your daughters drop you off to a nursing home to suffer in silence. I mean,
don't hope that, Bug Hall. I hope you get cast as alfalfa again, all grown up.
Yeah. That should be, is that the name of the Rugrats thing? Anyway.
Rugrat, yeah. Little Rascals all grown up.
You want a crossover? Well, this is obscure. I don't know if there's much more juice in this berry. And we have this other story I did want to talk about before we go. This one, this hoax one. So, hopefully Bug Hall figures. I didn't realize that would be an interesting story because I didn't realize how much you actually knew about Bug Hall, and that's so we just learned something, I guess. Here we go. Education advocate calls for criminal charges against New York City staff who took their own kids to Disney World on trips meant for homeless students.
Jesus.
Which I feel like is the opposite. Like, if that was the worst article that Orwell could have read, this is the best. Like, this is like, oh, there's hope. Because honestly, I think even Orwell, man, who was pretty, for all his supposed anti-communism, was a relatively social-minded guy.
Sure.
And I'm sure he believed in charity and the government helping people in need. I think even he would go, don't send these homeless kids to Disney World. That's stupid. Why are you sending? I know nothing about this yet. But on the surface of it, it seems like the most insane thing to take a homeless child, a child who has no home, and go, hey, let's bring you to Disney World for a week?
Yeah.
A day? I don't know how. Let's take a look. But I mean, I can't think of a lower priority fix.
Federal officers should consider criminal charges against 6 New York City employees who took their own kids and grandkids to Disney World and on other costly trips meant for homeless students. An education advocate is urging authorities. This appears to be a criminal use of federal funds for homeless students involving forgery and fraud.
Now, is this, I've told this story before, maybe on the Patreon, I forget, but, I've told how I was brought to Rye Playland back in the day. With my parents took me to Rye Playland up in, where is it? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
In Rye, New York, yeah. And it was as low, like a smallish, theme park, in Westchester-ish area, upstate New York a little bit. And I would go, and I didn't know who these weird people around me were. These large, I thought were large children. Apparently, they were blind kids, and one because my dad was in the Lions Club, which is one of those clubs where men get together and do business meetings and eat salads. And, but whatever. The point is that they were, one of the guys who worked there who was part of this club was an optometrist, and he had charity for blind kids. And my parents brought me because what are they going to do? Like, I mean, I think that's what the whole gimmick was. Which I'm just saying, maybe the gimmick here was like, well, like maybe it wasn't like the whole staff brought everyone at once. It was like, well, I got to pay for a babysitter.
Yeah.
I'll bring my kid, and I'll take 6 homeless kids.
Right, yeah, I'm basically chaperoning.
You owe this to me, yeah, which I think is fair. So if that's what happened, then can we figure? Let's try to figure this out. I think that's fine.
As first reported by the Post, Linda Wilson, Queens manager of students in temporary housing, and 5 employees she supervised used forged permission slips to take their daughters, sons, and grandkids to the Magic Kingdom in Orlando, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, and upstate Rocking Horse Ranch Resort, among multiple locales. Taking your grandkids seems like a stretch.
Well, look, I mean, you need to care of a kid. I'm going to take 6 kids that aren't mine. You don't love homeless kids. No one loves homeless kids. You only love your own kid. Now, if you also have your kid with them, then there's an incentive not to like sell them or like let them die. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying like the world. I like to think I wouldn't need that. We all like to think that. But at the end of the day, people just only care about their own blood. And like teachers don't care. And babysitters will just, they'll just burn your kid. So my point is, you need to throw your own kid in the mix just so you don't just like eject the litter, as it were.
The homeless kids will get some of your kids' pheromones on them.
Yeah, it's like a cat making its mark. Yeah. Exactly. What happens here stays with us, Wilson allegedly told her colleagues, and when investigators called her cover. What happened? What? That's so much gravity for what they're talking about. Yeah. So
what happens here stays with us.
I mean, can we see? Is there more detail? The news gives you no detail anymore.
Hameson said she wrote last week to the U.S. Department of Education's Inspector General, the officer charged with investigating criminal and civil and criminal violations of federal funding, to call for a probe. Employees said a $300,000 federal grant was used to fund the trips.
I don't like how small the paragraphs are on the Post. I'll say this. The New York Post is not a very good newspaper. Now, I know the New York Times has a bias problem and just a being full of shit problem. Like, I'm not saying the Times is reputable, and like especially in its editorial aspect, and they slant things. But they just seem like the articles just seem better.
They're formatted nicely.
They just have information. Now, it could be lies, but this is just like 2 little bits. I just don't. It's like Mad Libs news. I'm reading
every time someone sends me an article that supposedly confirms some kind of right-wing point.
Yeah.
The article that opens up on my computer, I feel like it's going to give me a virus every single time.
Well, I don't want to make it a right-left thing. You're making it. I'm just saying that I've gotten plenty of viruses from the Huffington Post.
This is something I've experienced multiple times.
The Huffington Post is no gem either.
Oh yeah, I forgot that existed.
Sure, but most people have.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's others. The Wall Street Journal would be better too.
Sure.
But they're not covering this. DOE spokeswoman Nicole Brownstein also refused to say whether any employee paid restitution, but confirmed Friday that all 6 cited by the SCI were terminated, resigned. You shouldn't have to pay restitution if you got fired. Screw that. That's like people accusing you of being a time thief. Enough. Wilson, 63, who collected $97,000 in city paychecks last year, told the Post she retired. All right, well, no, what is that? Why phrase it like that? Wilson, 63, who collected $97,000 in city pay. She got paid. Her salary was $97,000. What are you doing? As if she was like cashing welfare checks.
Yeah.
She denied taking her daughters on trips and any other wrongdoing. Well, I believe her. Whatever. What's your take on this?
I mean, look, I agree. I think this funding program is stupid. They could probably spend $300,000 in a little bit more of a legitimate way than taking kids to Disneyland.
Like getting them a home.
Like, yeah.
I mean, are they still homeless? Are you just dropping them off in the street? That's my thing. Are you just like leaving them at the McDonald's? You know, I'll see. We'll see you around.
But it's temporary housing, so maybe they live in shelters or something.
All right. How about we use this money to get less temporary housing and not pad Disney World? I mean, to be fair,
Could they each get I mean, like, what is this? Like 10 kids who went to Disney World or whatever?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, why not put? I mean, can you open a Roth IRA for a kid? Can you put $1,000 in a Roth IRA?
I don't look. It sounds terrible. I don't think they expect the kids to live long enough to cash that. That's the thing. You can't. There's a lot of penalties if you take it out early, and so I don't know if they're gonna make it to 65. I would love it if they did. But I mean, let's just be realistic. Or the Roth is not the vehicle for them. You know? Maybe like a savings bond.
Sure.
You know, like 10-year maturity or something. I'm just saying.
And then if they die by that point, then you can cash in the savings bond and use it to take your kid to Disney.
You could roll it over of some
Yeah.
sort. I'm not an accountant, but there's ways to do this. What happens here stays with us. You know, he also said that was Puffy. P. Diddy. What do you think he'll be charged as? Puffy. I'm going back to Puffy now.
Oh.
Sean Puffy Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Well, probably the chart, right? Racketeering.
No, I meant his name. Which name are they going to use?
Oh, it's Sean something, right?
It's Sean Combs.
Sean Combs, right?
It's a bit, yeah. It's not going to be Diddy verse. The state against Diddy, Sean Diddy, Puffy, Machiavelli. Was that him? No, that's Tupac. Cyrano de Bergerac Combs. Anyway, so good on these people. Queens Management Students Temporary Housing. 5 employee supervisors used forged permission slips. Yeah, I don't know. This seems like I don't know. They should put me in charge or something. Should I run for office?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Do I have time to run for mayor? Is Eric Adams still the mayor? Isn't he like being charged with a crime or something?
Oh yeah, run against Eric Adams.
I will. I don't think I have to. I think he's gonna be replaced. Prior to the election. I think he's going to jail. We wish you all the best. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and just whatever. Just buy a VPN. What else do people suggest on podcasts? Life Alert. Anything. Patreon.com/Ray Kump. Extra episode every week for $5 a month. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you all next week. Have a great week.